Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Boop, boop. Hello. Yeah, hi. We're back at it. I'm doing more Kirel. I am doing more Kirel work. I want to get as much done as I can today. Boop. So, the first thing you'll notice right now is I have a completed... We're going to start with imagers. What you'll see here is I have a completed node tree of what is basically a direct copy of the settings from the existing Kirel imager. Before we get into that, though, yeah, we're going to go into my Kirel folder here, and we're going to open up, let's see, there we go. So, neighborhood02 Python. This is our Python file for Kirel. This is, this is it. What's interesting about Kirel versus neighborhood01, that is to say Bevan, is, well, basically Bevan has a whole lot of more complicated stuff to it that I'm not quite sure about how we'll replicate. But what I do know is that Korman does not innately... At least I don't know how to tell Korman how to export a Python file with text in it. Welcome. Hello, MSK. Sure, yeah. So yeah, we are... So yeah, basically what we're looking at here is the age list code for how the imager updates its age visitors list. Now, I should note that the way that this code is used, when we see it in use in Kirel and in Guild Messenger's pub, as it currently is, it doesn't really fire off as frequently as it should, and there's often a very large delay before it updates. And the long and short of it is, at the moment, I do not know how to not use that code. I'm still trying to figure out how the original neighborhood has this set up. But for the moment, we're just gonna go through this as best as we can. So, like I said, we're using simple imager Python, which is what this imager uses. This is the visitors list imager. So the main thing is that all of what we have here is what is copied directly from what's currently functioning. What's currently functioning is that in ID1, this is the imager name, the name of the imager, and it is called Dunny Imager Right, even though it is on the left side of the balcony. That is because Kirel, as we all know, is a mirror image. I'm moving my hands in a mirroring pattern. You can't see that. Kirel is a mirror image of Bevan, and because it's a mirror image, what happens is that what was on the right side of Bevan is now on the left side of Bevan, and frankly, I am not entirely sure how this specific age code derives the imager name and applies the visitors list to this specific imager. But we are going to assume that Dunny Imager Right, this bit right here, is the correct one. So, I'm going to come down here, and you'll see we have two mesh planes here. We've got a static plane, and then we've got a photo plane. This is the exact same setup in Chisoprenov's downstairs. So what we have here on the static plane is our static texture and a glowing texture that I believe... Yeah, that's just set to emit. The static texture, on the other hand, is going to end up moving. but for the moment, I'm going to set it... Now, see, it's got a diffuse color of totally black, and I am absolutely sure that's not going to be good for us. If I set this to shadeless, and I go to material, yeah, shadeless. Yeah, see, we've got the glow in there now. There's that emit from the background of it. Anyway, the other texture is this thing here, and this is our... These are our different layers. So we have this frame shape that is the stencil shape of the imager outline, which is a very interesting texture. That is... Anyway, then we also have this texture here, which when I loaded it, it started off as none, but we want it as image or movie, because otherwise it's not going to work. And we need to figure out... Control... We're going to try and figure out which of these... Yeah, we want map 1, I believe. Yeah, I think we're going to want map 1 for this one. Map 1. And, yeah, this is also set to map 1. Interesting. This, we will end up seeing if we need to set this to map 0. I'm not entirely sure. We may need to change the map on that one. Again, this is... So I'm going to open up another Blender window, and I'm going to jump over to Customizable real quick, and I'm going to verify my texture map settings for the imager in Chiso. I know I have that working. So we're going to come over here. Doop. Whoop. Here we are. You are still seeing the Kirel imager. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to disengage Blender. Disengage background. Display capture. Whoa. Whoop. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Here's Kirel. Here's Kirel. Or rather, here's Chiso. So we're looking at the imager layer here. So, as you can see here, I've set that diffuse color to white. So we want this diffuse color here to be white. Down here. Okay. So we have the UV mapping. We're going to just quickly check off to make sure these are all the same. Okay, so we have no light group. We are using mist. It's traceable. It's got a pass index, a 2. Ambient intensity. Yeah, okay. That should be good. Go down to our texture thing. Like I said, we want it as image and movie. I'm going to come down here. Colors. Colors. We do not want it to have an image, because it's going to provide the image itself. Dupli. Okay, so. Have color checked. Boop. And the rest of this looks normal. Yeah, the rest of this looks normal. Okay. Right. Okay. Closing Chiso. We're now back at Kirel here. So, we're going back to our node editor here. Essentially, what we have here is we have our object name, Kirel Imager Photo Plane. Kirel Imager Photo Plane 02. And that is also going to our ID 6, which is the Imager object for the membership chest. And even though this is a public place, this imager is not uploaded. So, like how it's happening in Chiso currently, because I have things screwed up there, we want it to have ID 5, the membership attribute, the members only, we want that flag checked. Now, ID 7 is the maximum number of images. The default for this is 5. Well, let's be honest here. We're not adding anything new to Kirel's imager here, so I'm going to dump it down to 1. For the same thing here, it was set to an absurd time between each image, so it would take a while to update. So in the hopes of trying to make sure this imager updates a little faster, I have updated it to 10 seconds between images on ID 4, which is our number of seconds on each image. Because it's just going to be the one image, it should just cycle through it. So I'm going to set that up to 2, so it has a reason to cycle. At least. Imager palette upload is disabled. Now, if I were being truly innovative, I could do what Cyan should have done, and I could update Kirel to allow imager or palette score uploads. But we can see here there is no readily available region for that, so we're not going to do that. And finally, the thing you'll notice here is ID 9 is the inbox SDL variable. It says optional. Kirel does not have an updatable imager that you can upload to, so it does not have in its SDL something you can upload to, so we are not giving it anything in that box. We are just leaving it blank, exactly as it was in the original Kirel export, or at least the last export that Dubes did, which I'm assuming he copied from Cyan's settings. Anyways, while I could export this right now and give this a test, which we will eventually, just so we can see how the imager itself looks, I have no confidence that it will actually show a visitors list when I load in, because I am exporting directly into Destiny's folder, and the Kirel.python that I will be exporting for, well, rather, Neighborhood 02 Python that I am exporting from this blend will not have what we're looking for. Which is unfortunate, but we will deal with it. Age SDL hook. So we're going to come here to our age SDL file, and we're going to add the advanced modifier. I'm going to just rename this from exact copy of, because it's no longer an exact copy, to Kirel welcome imager. And this will be our visitors list. Like I said, it's not going to be able to pull on the thing properly when we link into the age. But Mankata will not have that problem, at least assuming that I do not find a way to replicate how Neighborhood 01, aka Bevan, aka Surette, aka everybody's favorite neighborhood, essentially, if I can figure out how to do that, I may end up scrubbing the simplified code from the Kirel neighborhood, the Kirel age Python, and instead using the established one that is already in use in Neighborhood 01. Potentially. I'm not committed to that yet, and I'm not making any promises. So, one last thing that we need to work on here is the static layer. Because if we just link into the game right now, this static is just going to be static. Nobody wants static. They want their static to be moving and vibrant. Do you hear me? I've said static way too many times, meaning way too many different things just now. Point is, we're going to do a quick keyframe animation. And 60 frames a second. Let's give us 80. And then I'm going to offset the Y. And then I'm going to offset the X. And then we're going to do 40. And yeah. So now when we export into the age, that texture should be moving in the X-axis and the Y-axis at the same time. One of them is going in a negative value. I have no idea how that's going to animate, but it's going to auto-start and it's going to auto-loop, which is fine. We can come here to our audio thing here. This is our wall imager loop, and it is not set to auto-start. We have a flickering light here that is not animated. It's lost its animation. We will worry about that after. Yeah. I'm not happy with it trying to play in a soft volume. I do not know. So I'm going to create... Before I go creating anything, you know what time it is. That's right. We're loading up Minkata Alpha. We are loading up Minkata Alpha, and we are going to zip into Kirel, and we're going to see where the audio cuts in and out at. Because I need to make sure I'm doing this right for this sound. I do not want to have the imager doing a sound too far away from where the sound should be playing. Y'all get what I mean, right? Yeah. Updating. Approximately 7 to 1 seconds remaining, 0 seconds. Whee! Yeah. Blah. I was just saying nonsense. It's not even... Now it's at 0 seconds. Okay. Okay, we're going to load in. We're going to go to Kirel, and we're going to check the distance for how far away that audio fades in and fades out at. I am so silly sometimes. Okay. Turn up my audio just a second. Okay, so we're right here at the imager. This is kind of the vibe we're going to be looking for. Let's back away. Should be easier if I had my headphones on. Okay, I do not think I hear it from back here. Actually, no, this is where I can hear it. It's about here I can't hear it from. Okay. Wait a second. Is it just... Yes, thank you, Borrow. I can still barely hear the imager out here. Yeah, I can still barely hear the imager up to here. So I think... the plaza needs a region for it. The whole plaza needs a region. Right. So let's take a look here. Is there... Kirel, soft region. Aha! There is a region right here. Basically encompasses the entire plaza and comes a little bit into here. Which is just about what we want to see. So, like I said, I am not happy with how these imported regions end up functioning. They are not all that easily tameable. I'm going to create a new object, and we're just going to create like so. I'm just going to create a cylinder. We're just going to scale it up until we're about yay tall, and then we're going to shrink it down to about yay. Well, we have it at yay wide, and now we have it yay there. And this is going to be our disabling you. This is going to be our Kirel the opt region. Going to be our soft volume. What does the inside one settings have? Distance 100. Okay. We're going to wire, draw all edges. Tab, Control T to triangulate. And then look at that, we have a big old cylinder thing. It's good enough for me. Come over here to our emitter here. Set this to Plaza Soft Region. Okay. take a quick look at these cones here. Yeah, these aren't set to have a soft region, which is nice. Which means they'll play anywhere. Not sure what's going on there. We will deal with that later. Okay. So, I'm going to assume that this emitter wall imager where are you? Whoa, okay, don't know why this is all the way up here for, what are you doing up here? Oh, this is the telescope modifier. This is supposed to play while you're using the telescope. Okay, the telescope that does not exist, this plays while your camera is in the telescope view, so it maintains audio continuity. Of course it does. I am just going to disable these objects, because I am quite certain that we are not going to need them one bit. Okay, we're going to come back to... And we're going to zip back down here. Woohoo! Aha! Here is our other imager. I totally meant to gun to this one by intent. I did not misclick. No, sorry, I did not click. Okay. Okay. Right then. We're going to come with our static plane. And there's our photo plane. Let's look at our photo plane here. We have the DRC imager. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is a generic animation cycle. I'm pretty dang sure, at least. So this object is going to cycle through. This object is our classroom imager, and it does not at all function as an actual imager in the way that you expect it to. Instead, what it does is it sort of, you know what? I can just show you what it does. That's right, we're going back at it. Kata Alpha. Yes, we're going back to Kirel again so I can show you what the imager does. Yeah. We're going right back to Kirel. We're going to look at what the imager does, and we're going to time how long those things are on screen for. Because that's going to tell us almost exactly how long we're going to have to set up the animation for this for. And if we want to add our own custom images, that means we know the metrics by which we have to do things by. Get on there. Wait, we have that imager. Oh, look at that nice and dynamic reflection there. Ain't that pretty? That's gonna be fun to get working again. Oh, here's our imager. Take a look as it comes and goes. Yeah, it fades in and out. So, next one that comes along, I'm going to count. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's a 2 and a 15. It's a 2 pause and then a 15. Well, I think that's important enough to write down. It's a 2 pause and then 15. So yes, that. Yeah. Well, there's some UV mapping I'm going to have to fix. Look at that stretchy, and all that. We'll get there. We will get there, I promise. Don't know what I'm going to do with that door yet. Probably nothing, but okay. So. Notepad. Is this you? Nope. Text box. That's you. Okay. We're bringing this down here. Right above my head. Ah. Nah, just a little bit higher. There. 2 pauses and 15. That is what we are dealing with. So. Before we do any of that, though, let's take a look at what we got right here. The material 1, material 3, material 5. Hold on. It counts backwards because of course it does. Okay. So, VRC material imager 05. We're going to duplicate this and we're going to call this 06. We're going to move that. Did not affect that. We're going to open. I'm going to go to my PNG folder here. Because I am looking for... Where did I leave that? NB02. Please avoid drinking the lake water. That's a nice little thing. Okay. We're going to use stencil gen. Do that. Iterate it. I want to make sure I... Give me a second. Give me just a second here. Which one was what I... Yeah, there's the other one I was wanting to have added. That is a simple explanation for anyone who reads this thing. So that is pub shirt. Submaterial 06. Going to make that up to 7. Going to remove you. Go back to PNGs. NV02 pub shirt link. There we go. Now then, here's the question. How are we going to animate this? Hi, Wonk. Hi, Wonk. Yes. Okay, so we have a 2 pause, then a 15 length for this animation. Yes, frame by frame. So we have 60 frames per second. Or is it 30 frames per second? Hold on, what did I have this set to? This should be 30 frames per second. Okay, so if I want it to be 15 seconds, I need 30 times 15. So let me get the calculator real quick. So 2 times 60 equals 120 frames. 20 frames, then 15 times 6. Nope, I did it again. Okay. Clear. Okay. 2 times 30 equals 60. So 60 frames, then 15 times 30 equals 450 frames. So if we're doing this right. No, we're not doing any poses here, I want. We're doing texture frames. So if it's 60 frames of darkness to 450 frames of visibility, this is going to be a long animation, isn't it? Yeah. Darn. Sorry about that. Okay. So we're coming back here. We're on a DUC image material 1. I'm going to start by having... Oh, all of these are set to opacity 0 to start with, which is almost exactly what we need. So we're going to just come along and scroll down here, and we're going to set a frame. Ooh, hello. You just... Are those just set to be active at all? Whatever. That's one less thing I have to animate. Okay. Oop. Okay. So, if our first frame is 60 frames for a 1, 2 count, then all the rest of these are going to stay opacityed at 0. Did I get that first one? I did get that first one. Okay. Except for 7, which is going to come up to Actually, we're going to leave that at 0. I'm going to do 61. And I'm going to do, yeah, let's do 50. And then we'll do 100. And I will go through all the rest of these and add another keyframe. No, we don't actually need to add another keyframe for the rest of these, I think. So we're at 62, so let's add 450 plus... let's add 45. Math. Calculator. Okay. So we're at 60 plus 450. So we want 510. I'm going to yank this back to 508. 100. D. 10. 0. We're going to add 60 to this, so that brings us to 570. And come to material 6. Opacity. 1, 2, 100. Go back down. 50. Okay. So now we're at 570 plus 450. Okay. 960. Go back 1, go back 2. I, 1, 2. I, go back 1, I. Okay. Plus 60. 1020. And go up a material. Up. $120 plus 450. 470. Back 1, back 1. I, forward. 0, 1, back 1, I. Okay. Plus 60. 1530. Okay. Going up to 3. I, 1, 2. 100. I'm going to go back 1. I. Okay, so 1530 plus 450 equals 1980. I, bump, bump. I, bump. I. $19.80 plus 60 is $20.40. I, 1, 2, 100. Back 1, 50. $20.40 plus 450 equals 2490. Going to go back 1, 2, I, 1, 2, I, back 1, I. We're going to go 1, we're going to go right to the end. And now for all of these, we're going to come back down. We're going to hit another iframe. Hit an iframe. Hit an iframe. Hit an iframe. Okay. That was a lot of math, wasn't it? Woo, that was math. That was a lot of math. Gives my brain a real workout. Okay. Now then, let us not eat cake per se, but let us export and see how this generally looks. Remember, as always, to save after such a big thing, especially before you're going to do an export, and hit test stage. And cross our fingers that we didn't screw something up to the point that it's going to crash on us. Because if you watched the last stream, you would have seen that, yes, I had many crashes earlier trying to get the thing to export. Mostly audio files, the audio, sound, SFX, those things. Okay, looks like... Boom! We got a successful export! Heck yeah! On the calculator. Eek! Math! Yes! Such a headache. Such a headache. Eek! Math! Ah! Eek! It's a math mouse! Ah! But yeah, anyway, I'm not expecting the visitors list imager to actually show a visitors list because, again, I am pretty sure that the exported age Python is not going to have the requisite code in it, so it's probably not going to show the right text on it, if it shows anything at all. And that's assuming that the game handles that inadequacy properly and doesn't crash on us. But it shouldn't, because the imager Python itself doesn't seem to draw on that. Okay, that's a stencil. I need that to be RGB to intensity, I think. Yeah, look at that. That's got to be a stencil. But we have imager static. Let's go check the other imager. Yeah, I bet you that's it. All of these weird white textures, those are probably RGB to intensity stencils. Still, cones do not want to work for me, but that's fine. Okay. Yep, stencil. I gotta fix the stencil. Boom! It's working! It's cycling! It is indeed cycling, as it should. Now I just need to fix that stencil issue so that it's not washing out the images like that. Hey, that one doesn't look so bad. That's a helpful, handy one to have, I think. Please avoid drinking the lake water. That's my favorite one. Cones and blockades are for your protection. Please mind the reconstruction. Ah, I know why that one looks weird, because I forgot to put another layer over it. Yeah, that's right. That's why that one's weird. Gotcha, 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 gotcha. You want to know the funny thing about that one with that particular all guilds meet one? I get that one from that picture originally. That one. That was one of my linking panel attempts, and I was like, screw it, I'm just going to use this as a template for this. It's a good angle for that area, anyways. Yeah, don't drink and link. Yeah, the cones don't have any lights on them. A lot of things don't have lights on them, frankly, at the moment. But, okay. Alright, so let's select the other one. Yep, look, see, I forgot to do stencil boop. Yep, okay, so we want this to be RGB to intensity and I believe stencil. And we're going to do that for all of these. Ooh, hello. That's a different color for that one. Stencil RGB to intensity. Okay. Okay, I'm going to select this imager thing here now. We're going to go to material. I'm going to take a look at this real quick, see what's working, what's not. Okay. So this is our imager texture. Yeah. See, that's exactly it. This one got set to be dark for some reason on the import. Non-vertex paint. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it got set like that, but whatever. That should make that imager wall look better. I know nobody's gonna see it, but it bugs me that there's no top to this. It's just no top to it. It's just a hollow thing. I know nobody's gonna see in there, but I see in there now, and it bugs me. Okay, come along over here. We're gonna select our imager here. Yeah, this is our texture? No. It's the other one that has this, and then this is going to be RGB to intensity stencil. Okay. And then we're going to come along here. I'm going to check this. Okay, that's all loaded up just fine. Perfect. Now let me double check that SFX emitter. Are you set? You are not set to auto start. Come over here. Aha, and because I changed that, you are now set to auto start too. Classroom imager target. That's good to know that that's gonna be pointing a... Why is this camera sideways? Why? Why, I ask you, are you sideways? What the? What the heck? What just happened there? Okay. Wireframe? Okay. Okay, that's what happened. Our view got set to ontological. Did I hit a button by accident? I did hit a button by accident. Think of all the dust that gets in there. Yeah, I'd rather not think of all that dust, I wonk. Oh. Blender is struggling because I hit the wrong button. Oh. Solid. Okay, there we go. Oh. How do I window view line view? How do I reset the view? Reset the view. Global, local? Nope. View. View all. No. View selected. Okay. First off, backface culling is on now. Why did I have to look at the sideways camera? Okay. Where's another camera that is properly the right way around? Where's a camera that is the right way around? Camera. You are a right camera. Yay, okay. There! Panic over with. TikTok mode. That was not fun. No offense to TikTok, but that was not fun being in TikTok mode. Okay. Okay. I'm going to check these columns real quick, because I have a suspicion. Yep, look at that. Totally dark. Totally dark. For no good reason. Gonna come to Eddie here. Exact same issue. Totally dark. Totally dark. Ooh, hello. Let's brighten that up a bit. Let's brighten that up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now, what else is giving me grief with that? Aha! Boop. Whoop. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Oop, hold on. Let's look here. I love that there's just little puzzle pieces cut out of it like that. That's just cute. Before I do anything, let's check material. Aha! Let's set that to use alpha. Actually, which texture are you? Just real quick. Okay, you're right, you're that one. Let's set that to use transparency, shall we? Yeah. Okay. Material. Tab. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. You're not set to use transparency. Go on here. Use alpha. Okay. Should start to rectify some of our weird lighting issues, I hope. So let's export the age again and give that our fingers crossed. Must kick Eddie. Yes, I want. Well, you're gonna have to go to the Eddie in the current Kirel, because this Eddie is currently a shadow of himself. He doesn't even make noises when you kick him. Actually, none of my objects make noises when I kick them, even though I set them up properly to make noises when I kick them. I mean, come on, I don't know what I'm doing wrong with that. Another piece of institutional knowledge that nobody dared share with me. I'm not that upset, actually. I had people tell me how to do it. I followed those instructions. It didn't work. So there's just some extra bit of knowledge there that just didn't get communicated to me, even though people did help me try to figure that out. Sometimes with this game, it's the little things you don't understand that kick you in the butt. But there's nothing to do about it except carry on carrying on. You know what I mean? Yeah, know what I mean? Okay. Okay, the cones are a little too bright now. But our imager has the light amount of fuzz to it. And if I strain my ears, I can hear the imager buzzing along. That did not fix that, nor did it fix that. But we will come along to that later. How strange. That it's because they're real-time objects. They aren't being lit right. Okay. I'm not seeing the static animation, but that's probably because I didn't set the static animation on this one. That would probably help matters. Yeah, that one's being weird. I'm gonna have to mess with that one. Ugh, the text on that one does not work. Look, the text is all cut off. I'm going to have to update that one so the text isn't getting cut off on the side there. And you can barely see my avatar there, too. Please avoid drinking the lake water. Yeah. Cones and blockades are for your protection. Please mind the reconstruction. At least that one's fading on the edges properly. Imagers are hard to get working right. I think I could smooth those transitions a bit more. I think I could probably smooth those fade-out transitions a bit more. Yeah, they're a bit too snappy at the moment. Okay, no, seriously, why is that so much more translucent than the other ones? What does I do differently with that? It's probably the stencil over top of it, I'll bet. Yeah, it's probably the stencil. Anyway, I think I'm happy with how that imager is cycling, at least. Yeah, lake water does not give you the glow you've been looking for. It really doesn't. Don't drink the lake water. You don't know what's in it. Okay, let's just... Boop, boop. Okay, well, the good news is that texture looks alright. Yeah, something weird's going on there with that one. And then there's these little guys down here, and these stupid little shadows that aren't shadowing correctly. Okay, so good news is we have cones visible. They're not visible. They're a little too bright, so I need to bring down their brightness factors, but they're all right. Let's take a look at the water down here. Animations ain't moving, but that looks decent enough. Did I disable the waveset geometry by accident? Ugh. We'll work on it. Will the fire marbles please make noise for me? No. Can we get up here? Yay, we can! I'm sure people will be happy about that. Shadows in here. Yeah, why isn't the lighting working in here? What? Oh, it's because the lighting groups aren't in place, so I gotta redo all the lighting groups, because of course I do. And then figure out what's going wrong with the lake stuff out there, but... Bonk. Dunk, 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 dunk. Yeah, something's going wrong with the... The little bar boat's still going on out there, though. That's chugging along just fine. Okay, so this worked. That did not work. That did not work. Okay. Yeah, in this case, this is, it is a thing that you really need to, if you're interested in it, you gotta dive into it. That's my opinion. The more people who know how to do this stuff, the better. That is my, perspective on it. I seriously hope that in the end, once I'm done with all these videos and they're all uploaded to YouTube, that they will hopefully stand the test of time somewhere and let somebody somewhere know just what they need to do, I guess. Sort of, kind of, maybe. I don't know. I do question sometimes how helpful these are. I know some people do use them, but it's like, I ramble. And these videos can sometimes go on for like 2-3 hours, and that's a lot of content to sit through just to get to the good stuff. And, you know, it's kind of what it is. Anyway, let's forget about the floor for the moment. Let's come back here and deal with these things. Okay. First and foremost are no texture plane here. Ooh, hello, something is purple. I bet it's because... Yeah, I bet it's because you need to be all the way down there. Where did my color go just now? Influence? There it is. Yeah. I bet it's this stuff that I screwed up on those images. Because, yeah, there's my lake water, and there's my guild pub one. Yeah, those were the ones that were having the weirdest. But I'm also going to... I was using the transparency. What? Are you, did I doing things correctly. So... Okay, so it's probably just the static imager I need to work on next. So let's pump up the light there. Maybe not so bright. I'm going to come along here. I'm going to go to 0. I'm going to start at 1 for our offset. Eyeballing it. Let's see here. 30 frames a second. Let's go 45. No, wait. I did 80. I did 80 on the other one. Okay, so then that's going to be 1. I said 1. And then -1. And then we're going to go to 40. And we're going to do another iframe. And that's going to auto start. And that would... Oops, stencil. You need to be RGB to intensity and stencil. I think, yes, that should be correct. Okay. Then you are the classroom RT light. What the? Classroom has a spawn point? Okay. 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 What are you? Circle cam center, circle cam target. Okay. You are room entry. Okay. Come along to our cones here, and I'm just gonna lower the brightness of that texture a smidge. Yeah, let's bring that down to 48. Then bring that down to 8. That'll be good enough. Okay, lake surface material. What's going on here? What are you called? You're called Stencil Gen Alpha Lake. Okay, you are RGB to intensity, stencil. Whoop. Lake surface material. Boop. Okay. Right then. Let's do another save. And we're going to test the age. See, about an hour, 15 minutes working on these imagers. That's not bad. Once we do this export, I'm going to quickly redo that one image, the Guild Pub one, because its centering is off. And that's probably why it wasn't used the first time, is because the text went off the screen like that, and instead of telling me the text was off the edge of the screen so I could fix it, nobody just wanted to use it. Nobody told me. Nope. Could have fixed that ages ago. Somebody had just told me it went off the edge of the screen, but no, they did not. Oh well. That is not much better. But it is slightly better for the cones at any rate. Yeah, I had to turn the brightness down. Eddie is just too bright in here. The lighting in here needs to be a little more If I apply real-time lighting to those, they'll probably look a lot better, too. As it is right now, they're not replying to the lighting at all. But that's fine. Okay. Okay. We've got the static. Images are cycling. Yeah, they're cutting a bit abruptly. That one is not working right at all for whatever reason. Yeah, that one just looks horrible. That one looks fine. Yeah, I'm not opposed to this. I think I can smooth those transitions a bit more, but otherwise I think they're fine. I know those are cheesy little arrows that are quickly done with an editing program, but they just work so well for that. Yeah, I need to fix the edging on that. I don't know what's going wrong with that. Otherwise, I'm happy with this imager. I'm very happy with the imager. I am happy with how that is looking and working. So, I'm going to exit out. Well, I had limited text space to work with, I want. All guilds meet, all guilds meeting. I have limited text space to work with there, so I shortened it to one of the ways I've heard people call it, the all guilds meet. Honestly, I think I've always heard it as the all guilds meet rather than the all guilds meeting, but I had limited text space, and that is my defense, and I am sticking to it. Okay, anyway, we're going to close Kirel real quick. Boop. I'm going to open GIMP, my editing program. Open up my window. I'm going to go to my textures, NB02. Okay, GIMP is fully loading. Then I'm going to... There we go. Close that window. Okay. Here's where I screwed up. So. What was that? What is... What are you doing, cursor? I don't want a clone tool. I don't want the perspective clone tool. I just want the text. Okay. So I'm going to select these. I'm going to bring down the text size, and I'm going to bring that over. Get that over. And otherwise, boop, boop, boop. The moment. Where is... Okay, there you are. Boop, boop. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to set this to soft light. Nope. I'm going to this tumult. Nope, that's too dark. That's too dark. Grain, nope. Addition. Oh, hello. There we go. That makes things better. Let me adjust that opacity a bit, though. Okay, so that is closer. If I bring the contrast up, bring the opacity on this up. I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to pull it down. Yeah, there we go. And guild shirts. Come on with this. I'm going to select this. I'm just going to squeeze it over so it's a little more centered. Guild shirts. Like matching guild pubs in the Nexus. Give that a little italicized emphasis. Okay, we're going to go export. And then this is going to be pub shirt link localize. Get rid of those erroneous PNGs. Export. And let's pray I did not just screw that over. Okay, go back to our window here. Go to textures. NB02. And that is perfect. Yeah, look how dark that one is compared to this one now. You know what, while we're at it, yeah, let's reopen GIMP. While we're at it, boop, boop, doop, boop, boop. Okay. That's not it. Where is my... Okay, first of all, duplicate layer, legacy, grain wait, no, what did I do for... I did addition. You are addition. Boop. Boop. There we go. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this one. Doop. I'm going to please avoid drinking the lake water. And we're going to bring this down a bit more here. Hold on, let me engage the pub banner text. Oop. Just going to put this down here. Pub banner. Boop, 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 doop. Yeah! That should do the trick. That should be nice and visible. File, export as... Come on. Come on. Please avoid export. Export. Okay. Those were my two new ones, and I have now successfully overwritten the existing textures. So when I come back to Kirel now, boop, 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 I'm going to hit save. And then we're going to test the age again. And this time it should have overwritten the old textures that were being called upon. And so when we do a fresh export here, it should show the new images. And hopefully they will be much easier to read. Oh yes, that's much more legible. Vaguely. Except they're using the old avoid drinking the lake water one instead of the new one I just used, so I gotta change that texture specifically to get it to use the new... Whatever. It's fine, I'll live with that one being the way it is. On the first Saturday of the month. And the next one is going to be the DRC one. Yep. Gotta figure out why that one's doing that. Okay, you know what? I'm happy with that, with the change to the... I am happy with the change to that... Yeah, I'm happy with the change to the Guild Pub one, and I think I can live with all the others being as they are. Right. Okay. Where are all the stars? Those are not showing up. Weird. Okay. I gotta fit. This imager is bugged. This DRC one is bugging me. I gotta figure out what's going wrong with that. Okay. DRC one is just bugging me. I gotta figure out what's going wrong with that one. Okay. DRC imager. You are set to UV map 0. Okay. Image editor. Boop. Okay. This is DRC welcome DDS. Okay. Okay, so why are you so small on the image then? Why are you so small in the image? What was with all that black? Okay. DRC. Okay, this is the original texture. It's being used. Okay, so what's going on? Get rid of the alpha. What about you? Are you... You're set correctly. All the rest of these are set correctly, so what's going on? Okay. My first thought is that this texture, for whatever reason, does not have any alpha to it when it should. Whoa, hello. That is every single texture being visible all at once. Let's quickly turn everything off here just so I can see what I'm doing with this. No, turn it off. Okay. I think the problem is that the DRC photo is just not filling the proper image space right. So, let us do a quick little edit. I'm going to open up Gem. We're going to go to our texture file. Textures. DRC. Drop that in. I'm going to drop this in. Okay. I'm just going to select this. To new layer. Okay. Delete. Layer. Scale layer. Okay. Wait, no, I deleted something too soon. Okay. Layer, scale layer, you're 512 by 512. Okay. Layer scale, let's set you to 512. Okay. Let's file this, export as DRC safety 01B. Going back here. Okay. I'm going to remove that image. Open. Going to PNGs. We're looking for... DRC Safety 01B. Okay. That's still a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get on this one. It's a wild shot in the dark. It is a very wild shot in the dark here that we will even get anything usable from that little edit that I just did. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to get on this one. Yeah. Oh, we've been at this for an hour, 40 minutes. It's almost another 2-hour video that I gotta save and upload. And I think after this, I'm gonna call it for another stream. Yeah, it's been a 4-hour video day for me, it seems. Yeah, 4 hours of streaming. Can you tell by how dry my voice sounds? Also, it's snowing, so my sinuses are screwed up. So, probably not the best day to be doing 4 hours of talking. Okay. Please avoid drinking the lake water. Please mind the reconstruction. All Guilds meet is held in the auditorium on the first Saturday of the month. DRC is screwed the heck up still. Head desk, head desk, head desk. Okay. Yeah. That did not go according to plan in the slightest. Which means I need to reevaluate that one for some reason. Anyway, it's been 4 hours for me. It's been 1 hour and 42 minutes on this stream. So, yeah, I'm gonna call it for today. And I will probably pick this back up again tomorrow. with all the other fun visual things we have to sort out in Kirel still, and that'll include fun things like wiring up node trees and fixing textures. Yeah, I gotta fix those textures that are glowing and being all improperly stencily and hey, look over there. It's an end card screen. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye!